ஓகே. ஹே கைஸ், எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். வெர்ஷன் 4.2 அப்டேட் வந்து விட்டது. சரி, நம்ம என்னென்னா வந்திருக்கு பார்த்துட்டு அப்படியே ஆர்கான் குவெஸ்ட் விளையாட வேண்டியதுதான். இதெல்லாம் என்னன்னா மெயில்ஸ். ஓஹோ, 300 300 வாவ், 700 போடு. வெர்ஷன் 4.2 நியூ கண்டென்ட் ஓவர்வியூ. ஓ, green அவன் வந்திருக்கான். நைஸ். வெர்ஷன் ஹைலைட். சாய்ராம், ஹலோ ப்ரோ, வெல்கம் டு ஸ்ட்ரீம். புரியல பாப்போம். How are you? நான் நல்லா இருக்கேன் ப்ரோ, நீங்க? ரிட்டையர்மெண்ட் ஸ்பாட். ஓஹோ, புரியல. டிபிஎஸ்ஸா? இதான் ஹைலைட். கண்டிப்பா நான் விஷ் பண்ண மாட்டேன். ஹை வெரினா சம்மன்ஸ். நோ நோ நோ, நான் ரைடனுக்கு சேர்த்து வச்சுட்டு இருக்கேன். கூட்டா வராம இருந்தா புரினா என்ன ட்ரை பண்ணிருக்கேன். வராது, லீக்ஸ்ல காமிச்ச மாதிரி தான் ஆடுறோம். வேஸ்ட் ப்ரோ.
Teamwork is dreamwork. Let the world collide.
அதுக்கு எதுவும் குறையில்ல. ஐயோ, வேஸ்ட். இஸ் பெஸ்ட் சப் டிபிஎஸ். அப்படியா? பார்த்தா அது எப்படியே தெரியலையே. ஐயோ, நான் விளாண்டவே மட்டமான டிபிஎஸ் கேரக்டர் அவதான் ப்ரோ. டேமேஜ்லாம் பஃப் பண்ணுவ போலாம். ஓஹோ, டேமேஜ் பஃப் பண்ணுவாளா? டூ கொடுத்தா அதே வருது.
A bitter pill to swallow. Seems like an emergency.
Let's spark things up a little. Come a little closer. The doctor will see you.
Yes,
Let me read you a verse.
A bitter pill to swallow. Remember, health comes first.
Surrender and be gentle. Come a little closer. Rain outlines your fate.
Mind the side effects.
Witness the power of Gua.
Seems like an emergency.
The doctor will see you.
வெப்பன் பேனர் ட்ரை பண்ணலாம் பார்த்தா பைச வெப்பன் இருக்கு. அதான் ரெண்டுமே ட்ராஷா விஷ் எல்லாம் பயங்கரமா சேர்த்து வச்சு நான் ரைடனே புல் பண்ணிக்கிறேன். ஆர்கன் கோஸ்ட் முடிச்சிட்டீங்களா ப்ரோ?
Once, there was a glorious kingdom established among the
ஒரு
heavens.
வாட்டியும் இதே ஸ்டோரி தான்.
From that kingdom came a crowned heir, tasked with seeking out the Genesis.
மேபி இந்த வாட்டி ஃபுல் டெவலப் பண்ணா பை பண்ண சான்ஸ் இருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஆக்சுவலா செஸ்ல என்ன இருக்கும் வெப்பனா? philosophy of equality, justice, order. இல்ல வெப்பன் நல்லா தெரிஞ்சு போச்சு. மேட்ச் இந்த வெப்பன் எப்படி அன்லாக் பண்ண? பேட்டில் பாஸ் ஸ்டோரி. You need to buy BP. BP வாங்கினாலே எல்லாம் வந்துருமா? மேட்ச் பண்ணா என்ன வெப்பன் வேணுமோ சூஸ் பண்ணணும். நான் ஒன்லி ஒன் வெப்பன் கேன் கெட். ஓகே ஓகே. பரவாயில்ல, வெப்பன்ஸ் நல்லா இருக்கு ப்ரோ இந்த பிபிக்கு. ஓ, ஆஃப்டர் எஃபர்டட் பை பைரோ. இந்த ஸ்வாட் டெவலப் நல்லா இருக்கும் போல. இது என்கிட்டே இருக்கு தட் மேட்ச். மேபி இது வாங்கினேன்னா நான் சாங்லிக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். போட்டேன்னா ₹1000 மறந்துருக்கு. 1000 வேற நல்ல கேம் வாங்கிட்டேன். நான் 500 நினைச்சேன். பிபி 1K ஆயிடுச்சா? அன்ஃபேர். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஹாப் எவ்வளோ வந்துருது?
The wind rises.
1K ரொம்ப ஒரு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சீப்பரா இருந்துச்சு. 6 or 7 ப்ரோ. 700 கூட ஒர்த்து ஓரளவுக்கு ஓகேன்னு சொல்லுவேன். 600 ஒர்த்து. 1000 சான்ஸே இல்லை. டூ வீக்லிங்ஸ் போட்டு போயிடலாம். அதே தான். எக்ஸ்ட்ரா ப்ரீமியஸ் வரும். இது பிரைஸ் அதுல தான் இருக்கு. 300. Disappointed.
Quit following me. Squall and fury.
ஆடா பாருங்களா. அங்கேயே டெலிபோர்ட் இருக்காடா. அது வருது 30 டேஸ்க்கு 90 பிரீமஸ் வரும். அதே தான், அது ஆமாம். பேட்டல் பாஸ்க்கு அது வருது. மழை பெய்யும் போல இங்க. இவன்கிட்ட பேசாம அங்க போயிட்டு இருக்கான். ஒரினா வெப்பன் ரீனா என்ன எடுக்கலாம். அந்த வெப்பன் என்ன ஒர்த்து அவளோட. ஃபோர் பாயிண்ட் த்ரீல ரைடுன்னு வருவான்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஏமாத்தாம இருந்தா சரிதான். 88% crit damage bro. Full ascent பண்ணாவோ. யாருக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க? இத பண்ணுங்க. Next week will be Raiden. I know Rina Ayaka. Okay. Ayaka use பண்ணலாம். Next Raiden.
Wind rises.
Rest and rebuild! Ring cutter!
கிட்ட வாங்கடா.
This is order. Squall and fury. Upon the gale. Upon the gale.
Is only out to 65k per go. Disappointed. 20k தான் ஆச்சோம். கண்டினியூஸா ஆர்கன் ரிட்டர்ன் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஆஹா. அதான் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா ரைடன் தான் வரும். அந்த கொரினாக்கு பதிலாக ரைடன் குத்துருக்கலாம். பரவாயில்ல, ரைடன் எடுக்க ஒரு டைம் இருக்கு.
Hold the line!
The wind rises.
Another
Uphill battle! Rest and rebuild!
Behold! You dare to gaze upon me?
ஒன்றும் பண்ணல.
That tingle. Stabilize.
Know my sword!
Freeze. Order guide you.
Squall and fury.
முடிஞ்சிச்சா? ஆர்கான் quest போய் முடிக்க வேண்டியதுதான்.
Add Astra. Thank you for complete.
இல்ல நான் நியூல எடுக்கல ப்ரோ. ஆக்சுவலா கூட்டா பேனர் வந்து சும்மா புல் பண்ணேன். எனக்கு ஏர்லியா வந்துட்டா, 30லயே வந்துட்டா. நான் என்ன பிளான் பண்ணேன்னா, எனக்கு என்ன எக்ஸ்ட்ரா என்ன சப் கேரக்டர் வந்தது. அந்த சப் கேரக்டர் எடுத்தா வந்து இந்த பாயிண்ட்ஸ் வரும்ல ப்ரோ. இது வரும்ல. ஸோ நான் அதுக்காக வந்து ஊட்டா பேனர் வந்து 3 டைம்ஸ் புல் பண்ணேன்னா வந்துட்டா. அது வந்துட்டு நான் இந்த வெப்பனுக்காக நான் அதை ஆக்சுவலாக பண்ணேன். நான் ஊட்ட வரும்னு எக்ஸ்பெக்டே பண்ணலாம், நான் ஊட்ட வந்துச்சு. இது ஒன்று வாங்கிட்டேன். இது ஒன்று வாங்கணும். ஐ மீன் என்கிட்ட டெட் மேட்ச் இல்லை, நான் அதுதான் மாற்றி சொல்லிட்டேன். அந்த வெப்பனை தான். எல்லாம் வந்துச்சு.
There's no need to exchange pleasantries.
என்கிட்ட வெப்பன் எந்த ஸ்பியரும் நல்லா இல்லை. ஊட்டாவதா ஹையஸ்ட் டேமேஜ் டிபிஎஸ். எனக்கு வேற ஒரு நல்ல வெப்பன் எடுக்கணும். வெப்பன் ஆர்டிஃபேக்ட்ஸ். டிராகன்ஸ் பெயின் இல்லையா? அது இருந்ததுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். பியர் தான் இருக்கு. டிராகன்ஸ் பெயின் இல்லை. ஏன் அதோட சப்ஸ்டாட் என்ன? EM. ஓ, EM வச்சு நான் நம்பர் பண்ணேன். டிபிஎஸ் கரெக்டாக இருக்கு. Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. ஊட்டாவுக்கு பெஸ்ட் வெப்பன். அண்ணா எனக்கு கிரிட் டேமேஜ் என்னமே எப்பவுமே 182 தான் இருக்கு கிரிட் டேமேஜ். EM gives more weapon damage since she is pyro. ஓ அப்படியா? EM இதில் வச்சிருக்கேன். ஃபைன், பார்த்துக்கோ.
It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to...
First now Uta with Dragon's Bane with 60/80 அதுக்கே 300 damage பண்ணிச்சு. அப்படியா? 60 180 எப்படி ப்ரோ ஏத்துனீங்க? Dragon's Bane வச்சுக்கிட்டு கிரிட் டேமேஜ். என்னோட EM எவ்வளோ இருக்கு? ஓகே 333 இருக்கு ப்ரோ.
Billy churl, silly Billy hilly churl. Woo.
333 EM 46 182. ஆனா ஹையஸ்ட் வந்து ஒரு 35 அவ்வளோதான் அடிச்சா. உங்களுக்கு C1ல டேமேஜ் ஐயாவங்க வித் மோர் HP இருந்தா வைக்க மாட்டேனா? எனக்கு இது மாத்தணும். ரிட்ரேட்டட் ஒரு ரிட்ரேட் ஆர்டிஃபேக்ட்டும் நல்லாவே வரும். C0. ஓகே ஆட் லைஃப். எனக்கு ஒரு ப்ரோக்கன் சர்க்குலர் கிடைச்சது. ஓஹோ, அதனால்
Ready for a rehearsal? Send one, send them all.
அஷா ஆர்கன் கஸ்டம் மோஸ்ட்லி டைலாக் தான் இருக்கு. தாங்களே உள்ள தள்ளிட்டு ஐயோ பார்ட்டி செட்டப் கொடுத்துட்டு ஆண்ட்ரா
Are you sure it
என்னோட ஊட்டா சர்க்கிளை செக் பண்ணி பாருங்க. ஆன்லைன்ல இருக்கீங்க? ஒருத்தர் அதுக்குள்ளே ஃப்ரெண்ட் எடுத்துட்டாரியா? இதெல்லாம் நினைக்கிறேன். ஐசன் ஐசன் தானா? ஓகே, ஊட்டா இருக்கு. ஊட்டா கண்ணுக்கு தெரியல பார்க்கும்போது. ஜேட் ஸ்பியர் எனக்கு வேணும். ஜேட் ஸ்பியர் எப்போ ப்ரோ வரும்? ஆ 19% ரிட் ரேட்டா? எப்படி ப்ரோ? ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் பேனர்லயே கிடைச்சது ஜிஎஸ்பிஎல். வா, லக்கி. இதோட லக்கியான மனுஷனை நான் எங்கேயும் பார்த்தது இல்லை. எனக்கு ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் பேனர்ல 2 வாட்டி டியூலோக் வந்தான் ப்ரோ. அர்கான் குவெஸ்ட் அஷா ட்ரெய்லர் செம்மையா இருந்தது. அது வெயிட் until next day வா. I'm eagerly waiting for script. இந்த பைரோ கேரக்டரா? ஐ மீன் பைரோவா? அந்த ஐஸ் கேரக்டர் மறந்து போயிட்டேன். 8 to 12 நினைச்சேன் ஏதோ ஒரு மிஸ் பண்றேனேன்னு. ஓ, ட்ரைலர்ல ப்ளூ அவளா? டைல்ஸ் மாஸ்டர். ஆஹா. இந்த ஃபோர்ட்ரஸ்க்குள்ள போனாலே காண்டா இருக்கு.
The wind rises.
இங்க காணும். எனக்கு மேலே ஒரு டெலிபோர்ட்டர் இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். இன்வால்வ்மெண்ட் in other quest. நான் கரண்ட் quest தான் வேணும்.
Too slow. Behold.
Now for a little rest after breakfast. This is the life. Wait a sec. Isn't something important supposed to happen today?
ஃப்ளாஷ் ஆடா, வெல்கம் டு ஸ்ட்ரீம். இன்னைக்கு ஃபோர்ட்நைட் ஆடுவியா? என்ன மோஸ்ட்லி இருக்காதுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஈவினிங் வந்து ஆர்க் விளையாட வந்துட்டாங்கன்னா ஃபோர்ட்நைட் ஆட மாட்டேன். சப்போஸ் வரலன்னா ஃபோர்ட்நைட் ஆடுவேன்.
Oh, today's our big day! We're supposed to leave the Fortress of Mirapede! Come on, we've got to go complete the release procedures now!
Masquerade of the City of Guilty.
The wind rises. Quit following me.
இங்கேருந்து நம்ம ஒன்றும் ரிலீஸ் ஆகலையா? ட்விஸ்டர் பாருங்களேன்.
Please sign here. This document will be effective immediately upon signing, and you two may exit the fortress of Meripede via the regular channels.
It's been so long since we've been to the surface. Let's hurry up and... Huh?
What's
ட்விஸ்ட்
happening?
போல.
I'm fine, thanks. But I wonder what that tremor was just now.
Let's go ask the Duke.
ரிலீஸ் பண்ண மாதிரி தான்.
Squall and Fury.
Too slow.
Your Grace?
Your Grace. இப்போ
Ah,
ஓவரா
good to see you two. Is there something you wish to see me about?
Yeah, what was with that earthquake just now?
Ah, that. The tremor didn't originate from the seafloor. In fact, it seems it came from the surface. Over the years of serving as the warden here, I have developed a sense for distinguishing between what occurs on the surface and what occurs underwater. Besides, the seal that Monsieur Neuvillette set in place won't fail so easily.
So the fortress is okay?
If you recall our last incident, if there really were a problem, there would be crowds of inmates in a panic right now.
Huh, you've got a point. Okay, seems we need to get back up to the surface and ask about what happened. By the way, do you know what day it is today?
I believe today is this month's pipe cleaning day.
Wait,
Cleaning day.
seriously?
Ah, yes. Have you completed your release papers?
Yep. It's you two. Are you leaving now? That's right. Today is our last day in prison. But now that Paimon says that, it doesn't feel like we were confined here. It's actually been pretty nice. Oh yeah, Paimon feels fond of this place now. Then be sure to come back and visit. I'll miss you.
If you've signed the release papers, then you're free to go. The guards will escort you out.
You're not going to see us off?
I knew you'd ask. All right, sure. Let's go.
Well, you actually agreed. No worries, you must be busy. Paimon was just joking.
Ah, so you do have a polite side, I see.
After being down here for so long, I imagine you must feel like you're lacking companionship. Shall I come along too? Yeah, don't worry, we'll come back to see you. Paimon really likes the cafeteria here. The chefs sure do know how to make good grub.
I hope you won't be here as convicts the next time I see you.
We'll do our best to stay out of trouble. Well, it seems our work in the Fortress of Meripede is finished. That's the end of another chapter in our journey. And
But
since
chapter
we
is start
should
ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ.
probably go report to him now. Next up, the Palais Mermonia. You're going to see Monsieur Neuvillette? Please pass on our kind regards.
I'm sure just your regards will do. No,
I believe it would be the polite thing to do.
you're right. I've heard the Palais has been terribly busy these days. Tell him that I hope he hasn't been overwhelmed by the recent string of troubles.
இது பர்பஸ்லயே வரணும்ல. ஏன் கொஸ்டின் மார்க் போயிடுச்சு? வர முடியுமா? Fine.
Wait,
Did I hear that right? Monsieur Nervalet, are you sure you'd like to take over the case yourself?
That's right.
No, but why? Technically speaking, cases like this are better left to the guard.
Neverlet! Sidine! Hey there! What are you two talking about?
Ugh, Traveler and Paimon, please help me talk our Chief Justice out of this. He wants to investigate a case on his own. This is completely unprecedented. How can we have the Udex acting like a private detective?
I trust that you'd be able to work that out with how well connected you are, but I must apologize. I do not plan on relying on anyone else's help for this matter.
So, what is it exactly? It sure sounds serious if it's something you've got to investigate
A Melusine named Kiara received a threat letter.
And then?
That is all the information I have acquired.
Huh?
I have no idea why you're so hung up over this. I've checked the schedule in advance, and it seems like there aren't any trials today. So, if you insist, I have no objections.
Thank you for understanding. I will leave a note explaining my absence on my desk. I would appreciate it if you could take it to Lady Farina. She may have no interest in official affairs, but standard procedure dictates that I'm still responsible for reporting to her.
Yes, understood. I'll come back later and deliver the note to her.
Judging from Sidine's reaction, it must be pretty rare for you to investigate stuff personally. What's so special about this case?
I cannot tell you just yet, but it reminded me of certain past events. There could be complicated conflicts of interest behind all this, so I must eliminate all risks in advance.
Come on, stop being so secretive! We still have no idea what's going on!
It is not my intention to keep you in the dark, but I need some time to revisit those memories and collect my thoughts. Long story short, a little more than 400 years ago, I became the Udex of Fontaine and initiated a series of institutional reforms. There were few people I could trust, but I had two subordinates who were exceptionally trustworthy and capable. Carol, a Melusine, and Vautrin, leader of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
They must have been amazing people to receive such high praise from you!
Indeed. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to protect them. The reforms damaged the interests of some, and the more conservative faction took advantage of Carol's identity to instigate political unrest. Ultimately, they wanted me to yield more of my power. The incident resulted in Carol taking her own life, and Vautrin being exiled. From then on, I've been especially careful when dealing with cases related to Melusines. All Melusines used to live a secluded life away from human society.
Melusines.
I granted their wishes when some of them, including Carol, asked me to bring them to the court of Fontaine. Many common folk believe that I share a special bond with the Melusines, and whatever they do can be traced back to me. Some of them, especially those who hold a grudge against me, exploit that belief and stir up conflict over Melusines in an attempt to lay the blame on me. I have nothing against the opinions of others, but the moment a whirlpool of conspiracy forms, it has already happened once, and I want to make sure it does not happen again.
Even so, why do you have to be the one investigating? There's the guards, the Marechaussee Phantom, and the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. Aren't they more than enough?
Based on prior experience, there is a high chance that those who hold hostility towards me do not belong to the same department. The political system of Fontaine is relatively complex and involves the interests of multiple different factions. However, since I am technically an outsider in Fontaine, a lot of trouble could be avoided if I personally took on the case.
Outsider? But aren't you the Chief Justice of Fontaine? Why would you be an outsider?
I understand where you are coming from, but there is not necessarily a connection between my responsibilities and how I perceive myself. You know very well about my true identity, and have even met others of my kind in other nations. Even though I was born with a human form, there is a fundamental difference between dragons and humans. Taking on the role of Chief Justice does not make me a part of this community. In fact, the status I was granted has prevented me from forming deeper bonds with others. I have lived in Fontaine for a long time, but I do not belong here. That is why I call myself an outsider.
Yeah, we have nothing to do with with all those organizations anyway. So how about we come with you on your investigation? Let's team up and round up all the bad guys lurking in the...
That does not sound like a bad idea.
Oh, Paimon's starting to get a little embarrassed. Just leave it to...
I will write my note of absence right away. Let us depart together once I'm done. Let us go. We should visit Kiara first and try to gain a better understanding of the situation.
So Neuvillette feels like he doesn't truly belong here in Fontaine, but is that really true? Paimon feels like he has a kinda skewed perspective on a lot of things. Anyway, let's catch up with him first. Paimon's been thinking. You called yourself a fish out of water, right? But since you're the Hydro Dragon, would a dragon out of water suit you better?
Thank you for your suggestion. Please allow me to rephrase. Has a dragon out of water?
Ugh. That sounds kind of weird. Let's stick with the previous version instead.
Swan Fury!
I never thought I'd see him.
The weather's amazing today.
Kiara.
Huh? Monsieur Neuvillette! And you are? Oh, I remember. You're the Traveler and Paimon. Aw, she's adorable. Hey there, it's nice to meet you. Thanks for the compliment. Is there anything I can do for you?
I heard from Sidine that you received a threatening letter.
A threatening letter? Oh, right! I remember the letter fell through the crack in my door as I was heading out this morning. It said something about catching me, so I thought someone wanted to play hide and seek. But Sidine told me it was a threatening letter, and that I could be in danger. But that's not gonna happen with everyone looking after me, right?
Have you run into any suspicious-looking people recently?
Suspicious-looking people? What counts as suspicious? Ah! Did you think of some? Nope. I don't remember meeting anyone like that.
Do you still have the letter with you? I want you to show me what it says.
Oh, let's see. Found it.
Now then, get lost. If you don't leave the Maréchaussée Phantom, I will come and catch you in person. Don't say I didn't warn you. A simple threat. Neither the handwriting nor the content itself reveals anything about the writer's intentions. We can't rule out that possibility. Since you can't think of anyone suspicious, I will be heading back to the Palais Mermonia to review some official documents. Kiara, you should come with us. It's safer if you stay close by.
Sure! Wait, no. I still have a case to work on. I promised Alof that I'd check on her place later.
But you are being watched right now. Going off on your own could be dangerous.
And that's where we come in to help. We'll stay with Kiara and make sure she's safe. With us around, anyone scheming to hurt Kiara can forget about— Thank you, Traveler. Big Sis Paimon. Don't worry, your Big Sis Paimon is super strong.
All right, let us go our separate ways for now. Please take care of Kiara.
We'll take her to a lost place right away. So, Kiara, how old are you? Let me think. 1, 2, 10? I can't remember. But I remember coming to the Court of Fontaine with Carol and Neuvillette. That must have been a long time ago. Carol? Didn't Neuvillette mention her just now? That was more than 400 years ago. Why would Paimon be a big sister to you? My memory isn't that good. But Carol told me I could address others based on how I feel about them. Paimon feels a lot more grown up than me, so you're a big sis. Huh. Hi, Muncies. Hey, Traveler, did you hear that? Strange. Paimon felt like someone was Olaf!
Kiara, you're here. Huh? Wait, aren't these two...
Oh, they're the Traveler and Big Sis Paimon.
I thought so. What brings you here? Did you run into any trouble?
It's not really trouble anymore. May I begin inspecting the store as planned?
Of course.
No hazards detected. You've cleared the inspection. Seems like the criminal from that case last month never set foot in here at all. That was quick. What were you inspecting? I took a look around the shop. Neuvillette says that us Melazines have special eyes that can see things people can't. Things like bloodstains. No matter how hard you try to clean them up, we Melazines can see the residual stains for some time.
All right. Now that you're done inspecting, can we have a chat? Hear me out. I'm planning to release an outfit for children next month and wanted to hire you as my model.
Of course! Is there anything I need to do?
Please wait a moment while I take your measurements. The sample should be...
Seems like they get along really well, huh? What are you looking at? Is there really someone watching us? Shh! Let's sneak over and take a look.
The wind rises.
Strange. Why isn't he back yet?
Gotcha! Ah! Charlotte, what are you doing here? Oh, wait, don't tell Paimon you're the one who sent Kiara that threatening letter. But...
Threat letter? What threat letter? This is starting to feel like an interrogation. Okay, I'll be straight with you. I don't know the slightest thing about that threat letter you mentioned. I only wanted to follow Monsieur Neuvillette and request an interview with him.
You want to interview him?
That's right. I'm not the only one, you know. Interviewing him is every journalist's dream. But it's not an easy task to accomplish. The Palais Mermonia rarely accepts appointment requests from us, and we never have the chance to interrupt when the court's in session. So imagine how surprised I was seeing him out on the streets today. It seemed like you were investigating something too. The perfect opportunity to whip up an exclusive, don't you think? Of course, I'll make sure to turn in my manuscript to him for review. I have my principles, and I'd never publish an article without the consent of all parties involved.
Yeah, we're doing a secret investigation that can't be made public knowledge.
I see. Well, if you say so, I guess I'll put this matter aside for now. Oh, what a shame. Chances like this don't come by very often, you know. In exchange, could you tell me what the threat letter is about? I swear I won't tell.
All right, then.
What? Someone's targeting a cute little Melazine?
Shh, not so loud.
It just so happens that I did an interview with Kiara. Last month, in fact. It was well received by our readers, so I was planning to continue the series. And now someone's coming after her. I'll ask my colleagues about it. Who knows? We might find something. And don't worry, I know what I'm doing. This secret's safe with me. But I gotta warn you, even if I keep my lips sealed, others will know eventually.
Why?
People care a great deal about Monsieur Neuvillette's each and every move. Some may have already realized that something was up. Besides, the case involves Melazines, so... Anyway, I'll get going now. Watch yourselves, all right?
Well, that was a nice chat. Let's head back and check on Kiara.
Quit following me.
What do you think? The design looks pretty.
I think it's great!
Huh. It's very pretty indeed.
Haran! What are you doing here?
Hi bro, welcome to our stream.
It seems that you just showed up out of nowhere.
As I passed by the Palais Mermonia, I heard that Neuvillette was investigating a case with you. Technically speaking, he and I are under an employer-employee relationship. It didn't feel right to have my employer personally take on such trivial case. I happened to have some time at the moment, and came to take a look. I sometimes have my clothes custom-made at this boutique, in any case, so we always have a lot to talk about.
Ah, Neuvillette sure is lucky to have someone like you.
Leave this to me.
Okay then, we'll leave Kiara in your hands.
Swarm Fury. Behold!
Brina இருப்பாளா?
Oh, you're back. Is everything all right?
We ran into Clorinde. She offered to help us protect Kiara.
That is good to hear. I trust her abilities. It looks like Kiara is in good hands.
We thought so too. Well, did you find any leads?
I've been looking over the case records, specifically inspection reports submitted by Kiara and major cases I've judged over the past decade. I've come up with two plans. On one hand, I could start with Kiara and track down the group behind all this step by step. On the other, I could also analyze the conflicting interests of these major cases and confirm my suspicions if there is indeed a mysterious group that bears a grudge against.
They both sound like pretty solid plans, but can you really finish browsing through all these documents?
Don't worry. I'm a fast reader when it comes to official documents. After all, I have several hundred years of reviewing under my belt.
We'll help you read through them. We have nothing else to do.
Thank you. I will continue looking through the ones piled up on the desk, but feel free to browse through anything else in this room. Have you made any progress?
We skimmed through some of them, but there wasn't anything useful. Oh, there's so many documents lying around. Just how many cases have you handled?
I would love to answer that question, but the truth is I've never made a precise calculation myself. If memory serves me right, there should be at least 100,000 cases. The documents you see are just a small fraction of what's really there.
Whoa, that's a lot. Looks like the work of a Chief Justice isn't easy at all.
That might be how it seems from another's perspective, but trials and official duties are, to me, simply routine. There are many documents here. Take a break if you are tired.
You read Paimon's...
All right, let us take a break then.
Even the a break, shouldn't we at least talk about something? All this silence is making Paimon feel really awkward.
Please pardon my lack of consideration. People rarely come to the Palais Mermonia for matters outside of work. To be quite honest, I am not sure what we... Would you like to have some drinks, perhaps? You must be thirsty after all that work.
Ooh, drinks! Thank you! Paimon wonders what Novelette likes to drink. Oh, maybe he's a fan of really fancy wines. He seems like the type of person who'd own an entire winery. You know, like Tilu. What's inside these glasses? It looks just like water.
An astute observation. It is indeed water.
So it's just plain old water?
What did you think?
Since you're the Chief Justice and all, Paimon thought you'd prefer something more sophisticated.
This water is indeed very special. It would not be an overstatement to call it sophisticated. I believe you've already tried Fonta. In fact, there are many other drink factories in Fontaine, including those that specialize in packaging pure drinking water. Said water is sourced from all across Tevat, including Mondstadt's Cider Lake, Liyue's Chintsa village, and Inazuma's Konda village. Here is one of their latest products, water from Sumeru's Apam Woods. If I were to comment on their mouthfeel, the waters of Cider Lake warm the heart. The waters of Chintsa village have a poignant touch, while one might call the waters of Konda village placid. Distinct differences exist between the waters of each area. You will appreciate their intricacies once you taste them carefully.
Really? Let Paimon try!
What do you think?
Nope. Paimon couldn't taste any difference at all.
How regrettable. It seems like you still have a long way to go in refining your tastes.
Hey, this doesn't have to do with refining our taste. Paimon's pretty sure most ordinary people can't tell the difference. How did you do it anyway? Oh, could it be because you're the Hydro Dragon? We are allowed to bring that up, right? Since no one else is around? Oh, Paimon's been wanting to ask this for ages. If you're the Hydro Dragon, why would you become Chief Justice in human society? Sorry. Paimon was just curious. You don't have to answer.
There's nothing to hide. I was simply organizing my thoughts. I accepted this position because I wanted to seek out answers to questions that have perplexed me.
Questions? Are there really things you can't figure out?
Many, in fact. But the one question that puzzles me the most concerns my own existence. In essence, I neither know why I was born in this form, nor do I understand where my long life should take me. I lost many memories from the moment I was born. The primordial sea, for example. I can only vaguely recall its connection to me, but I am unaware of what that connection is exactly. Perhaps the elemental dragons of other nations may have some form of an answer. However, they are scattered across all of Tevat. Abruptly visiting could very well pose an unpredictable risk.
True. Some of them have very unique personalities, too.
I have been holding on to these unanswered questions for a long time. But there is one thing I've discovered along the way. My emotions easily resonate with those of others. Even I don't have the slightest idea what they mean. My guess would be that there are at least some similarities between humans and myself. By observing their behavior, perhaps I could one day understand the meaning of my existence.
Have you made any progress then?
Perhaps, but I find such progress difficult to describe. As an outsider, chances to engage in meaningful interactions with others are few and far between. That's why I'm quite thankful for this chat. Such opportunities are rare. Alas, time is limited. We should move on with our investigation.
Are we gonna continue reading these documents?
I wasn't able to find any leads even after browsing through most of the documents. But while we were on the topic of water a moment ago, another idea came to me.
Water? Do you mean...
That's right. The Fountain of Lucine is where all of Fontaine's waters converge. It is the vessel of countless memories and emotions. If there really were an organization attempting to use Melusines against me, they should also hold an intense resentment towards me. Perhaps we'll be able to find some new leads by sensing the hydro element within the fountain.
Huh. Why didn't Paimon think of that? Come on, let's go take a look!
Perhaps we should go. There shouldn't be too many people near the Fountain of Lucine during the evening.
The wind rises. I probably shouldn't disturb them.
Looks like we got lucky today. There's hardly anyone around.
What should we do next? Oh, Traveler, can you still hear the voices from the fountain?
Perhaps leave the investigation to me. I need you to take a few steps back and keep a safe distance.
A safe distance? Neverlet, what exactly are you... Whoa, it's glowing! Thank you for bringing us here, Monsieur Neuvillette. The Court of Fontaine is truly incredible. There's so many things I've never seen or heard.
I understand your excitement, but there's no need to thank me. Although I have responded to your wishes, it was not without personal interest. Melusine's special sight make them especially suited for joining the Maréchaussée Phantom. I'm certain you'll become an indispensable part of Fontaine's detective.
I know, but I'm really glad to be of help. Not only can I repay you for your kindness, but also, it feels like my life has become a lot more meaningful.
But a meaningful life also comes with its risk.
It's definitely the safest to just stay in the village. But I want to see the outside world nonetheless. In truth, I've never really understood the purpose of my existence, or what I'm capable of contributing to this world. For almost 20 years, we've stayed in our village without finding any answers. That's why we wanted to leave our village and look for the meaning of our existence elsewhere.
I understand your confusion. In fact, I feel the same way. I too came here for an answer to my questions about my own existence.
Really? Could you tell us what we should do to fit in as you did? The truth is, many people threw rocks at us today and told us to go back to our village. It hurt a lot when they hit me in the head, and I tried really hard not to cry.
Logically speaking, both time and effort are essential when different species attempt to peacefully coexist. It will be a difficult road ahead, with countless obstacles to overcome. Different identities and ways of thinking all contribute to strengthening the barrier between one another. There aren't many suggestions I can share, because just like you, I haven't fully integrated into this society.
Oh, I see. Let's all do our best then. I'm confident that we'll find the meaning of our existence one.
I believe in you, but you shouldn't lose sight of the difficulties ahead. If you run into any trouble, I suggest that you inform Vautrin, the captain of the Special Security and Surveillance.
Huh? Is he the person I met in the Palais Marmonia?
Yes? Do you have any concerns?
That stone-faced human. He didn't even bother to look at me when I tried talking to him. It felt like he wasn't interested in anything but work.
He is an earnest man. There will be plenty of opportunities to work together in the future, so please try to get along.
என்னால வெறும் மூவ் மட்டும் தான் பண்ண முடியுது. வேற எதுவும் ஸ்ப்ரிண்ட், ஜம்ப் எதுவுமே பண்ண முடியல.
Hello. Can I help with anything?
Thanks, but no need.
Oh. Hello. I'm Carol. A Melazine.
Get away from here! I'm calling the guards.
Please, calm down. I don't mean to cause any harm.
Hard. Yeah, we should probably stay away from these monsters. Haven't you realized? Strange incidents have been increasing ever since they came.
Why should we trust this species from who knows where anyway? I can't believe Nervilet allowed them into the court of Fontaine just like that.
Exactly. That so-called Chief Justice even granted them official positions. Not only that, but they're now responsible for investigating cases as well. I swear, there's some hidden agenda at play here.
Go away!
I'm not leaving. I won't let you say bad stuff about him. We joined the Mari Shosei Phantom and solved lots and lots of cases. We've never done anything wrong.
Solving cases? With Nervilet in cahoots with you. You could have fabricated it all, and no one would know. So tell me, how can you guarantee that you Melazines aren't involved in anything that occurred recently?
Didn't I tell you before? Don't go advertising if you're not a good talker.
Vautrin?
Aside from spreading unjustified rumors, if you continue insulting members of the Mare Shosei Phantom, the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol has every right to subject you to interrogation. There have indeed been an increase in cases recently, perhaps due to the shifting currents of conspiracy, and I understand your concern. However, there's been no evidence pointing towards Melazines being involved.
Even the captain of the security patrol is on their side. Nervilet's newly reformed police force is already corrupt to the core.
How can two completely different species possibly coexist?
You heard that?
Yeah. I don't understand. Why won't anyone believe us?
There have been rumors saying that you were born from calamity, and that you inherently bring danger to those around you. There are countless negative rumors about you floating around in Fontaine. It's near impossible.
Monsieur Nervilet said that we needed to put both time and effort in. I don't know how long it'll take, but I can at least try making my best effort. I still want to try a little harder. Thank you for bailing me out earlier. Okay, I won't be taking any more of your time. I painted a lot of flyers last night, so I...
Give them to me. We'll hand them out together. The faster we get this done, the sooner we can head back.
Medals of Peace, awarded to you and Vautrin. Thank you for your continued dedication in the past 5 years. You've taken one small step forward in helping Melazines gain the trust of humans.
I think I'll pass.
Hey, don't say that. We wouldn't have made it this far without you. It won't be long before Melazines begin living peacefully with the humans.
Don't keep your hopes up. We've barely scratched the surface. There's still a long way to go before that dream of yours comes true.
You blockhead! Don't ruin the mood!
Vautrin brings up a good point. The trust humans have placed in you is still very fragile. Any small incident could undermine the hard work you've put in. Please be on your guard for the next few days.
Yes, sir.
Okay!
Medal of Peace? Peace isn't going to give us back what's rightfully ours.
Are you sure we should do this? We're no match for Nervilet, even with all our powers combined.
Nah, not gonna happen. As long as he remains in his position, there's no chance he'd take us out personally. There are rules even he must comply with in the political sphere. Unless he wants to become an enemy of Fontaine. So quit worrying and just go ahead with it. I've already planned out the murder. Once we lay the blame on the Melusines as the person who brought them to the court of Fontaine, Neuvillette will be left with no excuse.
I guess you're right. Ugh. If he just left things the way they were, it never would have come to this. But he's forced our hand. Time to teach him a lesson.
Turn the murderer in!
Melusines can't be trusted! That goes for Neuvillette, too!
Peaceful coexistence? What a joke. Get out of the court of Fontaine and don't ever come back!
The results of the investigation are in, Captain Vautrin.
Go on.
There is no direct evidence, but reasonable inference indicates that the ones controlling the situation are supporters of the old regime, whose interests have been undermined by the reform. They tricked Miss Carroll into going to the crime scene and pressed charges against her. After that, they incited panic among the people in order to make Monsieur Neuvillette confess to his mistakes and yield up power. The guards were stopped by the enraged mob and couldn't intervene in time. Miss Carroll chose to sacrifice herself to pacify the situation.
And she called me a blockhead. A little investigation would have cleared things up. Why didn't she wait until we'd established the truth? She didn't have to prove her innocence like that.
The situation had rapidly escalated to a physical altercation between infuriated citizens and the guards. Miss Carroll might have thought there was no better plan.
That is indeed something she'd do.
Captain Vautrin, should I present these results to Monsieur Neuvillette right away?
There's no need. Notify the guards to restrict public access to all information.
Restrict access to?
There's something I've never told Carol. I had a little sister named Ilaria who passed away when I was very young. She's just like Carol in every possible way. Innocent, kind, always believing the best of people. From the moment I met Carol, I knew that she'd be easily manipulated by others. I kept a cold demeanor and tried lecturing her into giving up.
Looks like she was unfazed by that.
Yes. In fact, some of her spirit must have rubbed off on me instead. Because I too began working towards that pie-in-the-sky dream of hers. I should have known. Those cowards don't have the guts to confront Neuvillette. They even avoided causing trouble for me. They were after Carol all along. Can you understand how I feel? Right now, there's only one thought on my mind. Only through blood.
I understand, but I'm certain Monsieur Neuvillette wouldn't accept that as a solution.
That's exactly why we need to keep this a secret. Give me the list of suspects. But I will take responsibility for everything.
Did you know? They're hearing a major case today, and the criminal is Captain Vautrin of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. Apparently, he resorted to personal measures to seek revenge for Carol and settled the score with the group that framed his friend.
I'm thinking we should try our best to bail him out when the trial comes.
Bail him out?
Shh, keep it down! Haven't you realized? Both Vautrin and Carol are Neuvillette's most trusted subordinates. After everything that happened to Carol, Neuvillette's guaranteed to do everything he can to keep Vautrin around. Besides, now that the old regime has been uprooted, Neuvillette's status is secure as can be. As long as we redirect public opinion, Nervilette will be able to give Vautrin a reprieve.
Vautrin sought vengeance for his friend for a valid cause. This represents the justice he upholds. Please, think about it. If the same thing had happened to you, wouldn't you feel the same way he did? Yeah, that's right!
This whole thing started because of those despicable cowards who levied false accusations against Carol. How could Vautrin be declared guilty for seeking revenge?
Monsieur Neuvillette.
Mr. Vautrin is innocent! He's innocent!
Order! I acknowledge your arguments. Vautrin, your revenge could be seen as a form of justice. I understand your decision, which is why I cannot help but feel regret and even grief about the judgment I must now impose. Personal justice does not equate to justice as defined by the law. To execute your plan for revenge, you abused your authority and conducted informal executions. Your actions have thus violated the law. Therefore, you will be declared guilty.
What?
That can't be! Monsieur Nervilette, please give this a little more thought. He has done so much for Fontaine.
Vautrin, my friend, is there anything else you want to say?
Neuvillette, what have I done to deserve this? I've closely followed every one of your orders. Can't you see? Everyone in this room believes that I'm innocent. Why can't you just let me off? Is this what justice means to you? Answer me, Neuvillette!
Order. Since there have been no further objections, the Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vautrin. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, Mr. Vautrin will be declared guilty.
Goodbye, Monsieur Neuvillette.
This all happened because of Carol's naive ideas.
How can different species peacefully coexist anyway?
Gamely racism. Wow.
Hey, stop spacing out! What's wrong? Are you not feeling well?
Apologies, it seems like my memories got the better of me. I tried my best to suppress the power of Hydro within myself, but it seems like it still caused the emotions within the Fountain of Lucine to boil over, due to my negligence. The overflow of emotions and memories must have affected you as well. Are you?
Wow. The Hydro Dragon is more powerful than Paimon thought. Anyways, the last time we came here, the Traveler only heard voices from the Fountain of Lucine. No emotions boiling over or anything.
It is as you said. This might be because I am different. It is not only the fountain. I can sense emotions from all waters in Fontaine. Rivers, lakes, and even the rain.
That sounds...
But I rarely ever do anything like this. Emotions carried by water are always chaotic and disconnected. As an outsider, having my mind occupied with irrelevant memories isn't exactly a pleasant experience. Which ones? It's fine. I prefer not to speak of those memories. That does not mean I am deliberately hiding them. It was a coincidence, but perhaps it is a good thing that you saw everything in that form. You should now understand why I believe there to be a conspiracy behind all this. These two cases are much too similar. I felt like I needed to do something.
Paimon's starting to lose track of what you're saying. Don't leave Paimon out of the conversation.
Then let us get back to the point. While I was investigating the fountain, I discovered something strange. I did not sense too much hatred towards me within its accumulated emotions. I don't know what caused this to happen, but it seems like there won't be a shortcut to finding the organization that may be pulling the strings here. However, I did find some resentment directed towards Kiara. If I remember correctly, it seemed to be related to a smuggling case.
Oh! Didn't we read about that in one of the documents?
You've read about it? In that case, the resentment should have come from that incident.
Huh? What are you doing here? I was just about to look for you at the Palais Mermonia.
Navia! Nice to see you again! Is there something we can help with?
I've heard some things, but I'm not purposely asking around or anything. Don't worry. Rumors are abroad that someone's scheming against Melusines, and that you're investigating the case. So I told the Spina di Rosula to keep an eye out for leads. We've had unfamiliar faces showing themselves at the Fleuve Cendre lately. Maybe you'll find the suspects among them.
Thank you. Where did you hear about all this?
The Chief Justice out on investigation, accompanied by the Traveler from afar. No matter how you conceal your whereabouts, there will be countless eyes watching you. You talked to Kiara, but didn't ask her to keep things secret. People curious to know asked around for information, then it was only a matter of time before word of the threatening letter spread all across Fontaine.
So that's what Charlotte meant.
Indeed. I did not expect that this could be kept hidden for too long.
You know, it could be because you attract more attention than you think. Anyway, any progress with the investigation?
The suspects who threatened Kiara might have to do with a certain smuggling case, but it is still uncertain if there is in fact another party behind all this. We are planning to return to the Palais Mermonia to revisit some details and identify the senders of that threatening letter.
All right, then I'll round up the Spina di Rosula and follow up on their progress. Wait for my word. Ta-ta!
Neverlet, do you think there'll be any problems now that the word is out?
I have already considered that possibility, and I do not think that there will be any. As a matter of fact, once the word gets out, no one would dare to harm Kiara in broad daylight. What is more important is how the case is perceived by the public. 400 years ago, they chose to side with the old regime and direct their resentment towards the Melusines. I hope the same won't happen again. Let us...
Strange. What are these people doing out on the streets so late at night? Did something happen? Let's take a look around.
Have you heard? Someone's plotting against a Melusine. This is 100% the truth. Even the Chief Justice is investigating in person.
What? That's it! Who's been threatening Melusines? Show yourself!
Our enemies are lurking in the shadows and won't easily reveal themselves. But no amount of hiding will keep us from finding them.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. The guards have already begun to take action. We can't just stand by and watch. Think about how much we owe them. Now that they're in danger, how can we just sit back and—
Everyone, please stay alert to your surroundings from now on. If you see any suspicious persons, report them to the guards immediately.
It feels like you've been following me this whole time. Did something happen?
We were informed that. Nope. We just finished our shifts and happened to be strolling by.
Have you had dinner yet? Why don't we check out the new items at the dessert shop together?
This isn't a good time to be out and about.
Come on, don't act tough. I bet you're hungry too.
All right, let's go buy a cake or something.
You shouldn't ever skip meals.
I heard even Nervilette's keeping an eye on the situation. This is the perfect chance to get promoted. We gotta make sure we give it all we've got.
Seriously? Were you planning to shirk your duties if Nervilette wasn't involved?
Relax, I was just playing. We've worked together for years now. If something happened to them, I'd be haunted by regret for the rest of my life.
That's more like it. We should stand guard until the criminal has been caught.
Come and fight me instead, you cowards!
Have you heard? Even the Special Patrol came to help.
Shh! Look! Isn't that Nervilette? I think he's looking at us.
Looks like there's nothing to worry about.
This is truly wonderful.
So, wanna go over and say hi?
No, I should stay where I am. My appearance could give rise to unnecessary commotion. Let us stick to our plan and return to the Palais Mermonia. The faster we uncover the truth, the better.
Following me. Squall and Fury.
The smuggling case was solved by the joint forces of the guards and the Marechaussee Phantom. This is the one. The list of involved suspects should be... Ah, found it.
What does it say?
The principal offenders Domenico, Inica, Yuna, and others have been caught. They have been sent to the fortress of Meropide following trial. Those with close connections or mutual interests with the offenders but who did not participate in the case will not stand trial. Among them, surveillance of Essin has ceased on account of his good behavior. All other personnel remain on our watch list.
So many names. Is the one who sent that threatening letter to Kiara on the list?
Yes, there is something suspicious about Essin, to be precise. It seems like he's closely related to the core members of the smuggling case, and he moves around without much restriction.
Monsieur Neverlet, someone claiming to be from the Spina Durasula just checked in with us. He said, and I quote, "We have located the suspect. They're chatting at the cafe."
Huh? How did Navia find them so quickly? We've only just figured out the suspect's name.
I too am perplexed. The cafe isn't too far from here. We should head over and take a look.
Quit following me.
Behold!
Hey, Navia, we're here! Whoa. Check out all these people. Hey there, are you Navia's friends too?
These are the people who have had recent dealings at the Marechaussee Phantom. They're usually hidden in the Fleuve Cendre, but I sent for someone to invite them over.
Invite them over?
Exactly. Now, I heard there's great coffee here, and so I asked them if they'd like to come and have some.
Yeah, it's our pleasure to be guests of the Spina di Rosula.
I've wanted to have a meetup like this for ages.
Something feels off, but oh well. Let's get back to business. Is there anyone called Essin here?
Yes, that's me.
You're Essin?
Yes, monsieur Nervilet.
Did you write that threatening letter to Kiara?
I did, but I was just following orders.
Orders from whom?
Domenico. He was my boss. I couldn't disobey his orders.
Domenico. Where is he now?
The fortress of Meropide.
Well, I'm afraid even the Spina would have trouble looking into that place. Looks like you'll have to make the trip yourselves.
You've done more than enough. I am extremely grateful for your help.
Leave the formalities for later. You should find Domenico first. If he really is the one setting up the conspiracy, it'd be best if he's exposed as soon as possible.
All right then, let's head to the fortress right now.
Squall and Fury. following me. Behold!
The Palais Mermonia sure is buzzing with activity today.
Halt! Huh? Oh, it's you.
Excuse me. Would you mind helping me take a look at this report?
I'll be right there. Sorry, I've got my hands full here. You can see yourselves in.
Everyone's so busy. Seems a lot has been happening.
Hello. You've come at the right time, but you'll have to wait for just a moment, as there are some urgent matters I must tend to first. In the meantime, please, have a seat. If you'd like to have something to drink, let the Melusine outside know.
That's all right. We just said...
Very well.
Let's take a break over there while we wait for him to finish his work.
All right. That should wrap things up for now.
Are you done with your work?
Yes, sorry to keep you waiting. Today should be the day you were released from the Fortress of Meripede, and it appears that you've managed to complete all the release paperwork.
That's right, and we came here to see you right away.
A massive whale.
Do you have any idea what that might be?
Judging from your description, that cannot have occurred in any ordinary waters, but rather something like the primordial sea. A whale of that size and shape cannot usually be found in the waters of Tevat. Therefore, we can only assume that Child is presently immersed in primordial seawater.
Immersed in primordial seawater? But how? And is he okay?
Most people wouldn't be capable of entering in the first place. I'm not completely sure how he could have gotten there myself. Yes? What is it?
Ah, right! Paimon felt it too! We asked the Duke and he said it wasn't from underwater, so we figured you might know something about it.
It turns out that I have just received a report about this particular matter. In fact, that's exactly what I was busy with a moment ago. The source of the tremor was here on the surface near Poisson. After the shaking stopped, the water levels in the Poisson area rose at an alarming rate.
The water levels rose? Oh no!
Fortunately, the water levels only rose for a short period of time, and have already returned to normal now. If the change in water levels is connected with the leaking primordial seawater, then the situation in Poisson may be much worse than it appears.
Navia should be in Poisson, right? We need to go check on her!
I would also like to go there as soon as possible, but I'm afraid I can't leave just yet. We must immediately formulate disaster prevention plans for the surrounding coastal areas I'll have to ask you two to go to Poisson first. I'll meet you there to check on the situation once I finish things here.
There's no time to lose! Let's get going!
Please be careful.
Too slow. The wind rises. Quit following me.
Oh no! What happened here? Navia should be around here, right? We need to make sure she's still... We haven't seen a single soul all the way here.
What will I ever do now?
Look! There's someone on the roof over there!
Just stay put. We're coming up. Watch your balance.
All right, just hurry. I'm not young anymore.
How will I survive on my own? My Desiree!
Oh, he looks pretty sad.
My leg! My leg! How could this have happened? It hurts!
Just hang in there. Help is on the way. You can hold my hand if it makes you feel better. Behold!
Oh, it's Navia. She's over there. Hey, Navia, are you okay?
You're here.
We heard there was a situation in Poisson, so we came as quickly as we could.
Yes. As you can see, the water level suddenly rose. It caused quite the disturbance, in fact.
Demoiselle! There was a wounded resident next to a building southeast of here. We've already transported him to safety, but we've run out of medical supplies.
He's wounded? How badly?
He fell, so it's probably a broken leg. He's pretty shaken up. When the water level rose, he desperately climbed up to the roof. Once the water receded and he saw the ground, he became terrified and eventually...
He jumped down then. Find the leader of Squad 1 and tell him to take the wounded resident to see a doctor. He should...
Understood. I'll take over his search and rescue mission in the meantime.
All right. You'll be in charge. I'm sorry. Where were we?
The situation in Poisson?
Right. Allow me to explain. A little earlier, we suddenly heard a loud noise. At first, everyone thought that something might have exploded in the waterways. The rushing water seemed a little odd, almost like the unique color of primordial seawater. Everyone on the street who happened to be close to the water didn't. Those who realized what was happening started to flee in a panic, desperately trying to get to higher ground. Many of the Spina di Rosula initiated rescue operations as quickly as possible, but there have been a lot of casualties. The water that flooded the area contained primordial seawater, so the lower levels of Poisson are still hazardous. No one knows if this could happen again. All we can do for now is try our best to help evacuate the residents. We still haven't completed the head count, but we'll have some numbers soon.
How awful. And all of this just came out of nowhere.
It was quite frightening indeed. I only wish that everything that just happened...
Is there any way we can help, Navia?
Thank you for being so willing to help in a moment of crisis like this.
Don't say that, Navia. That's what friends are for.
Demoiselle! We've got a situation here!
Sorry. I need to go for now.
And out she goes. See...
Okay, the wounded are being tended to, and we finished a preliminary head count. More support has just arrived, so I suppose I finally have a moment to focus on my own matters. Of course, we should remain ready for anything, and continue doing our best to rescue others. I'll be sure to have everyone at the Spina di Rosula ready to render assistance. Traveler, Paimon, would you two accompany me to my father's grave for a moment?
Huh? Right now?
Thank you.
The wind rises.
A lot of people here today, huh? When did this—
Same thoughts here.
A lot of people here today.
Same thoughts here.
A lot of people here today.
Same thoughts here.
Excuse me, good sir. Do you by any chance know a Gemma?
Gemma? You mean Caesar?
I'm just trying to get a hold.
Yeah, she does. Poor thing. Ever since Caesar passed away, she's been coming here once. I asked her what she was doing once. She said she wanted to speak to him again. She knows he's gone and can't hear her from the grave, but she just likes to spend time there, telling her.
She's been doing this ever since.
I'll bet. Caesar's reputation fell apart after his identity was revealed, so no one else visits his grave. I don't know if the mind lives on in the waters after death, but if it does, I'm sure Caesar must be grateful to have someone who remembers him fondly. If I'm honest, I think this is all so unfair to poor Gemma. Her fiancé was a low-life crook. Anyway, all of that said, she's running later than usual today. Normally, she'd be sitting in front of his grave by now. Well, that's everything I know, I'm afraid.
All right, well, thanks for sharing all of this with us.
You're welcome. I just...
Did you hear the news? They're saying the Phantom Weasel's back.
You're kidding. Wait.
I don't know anymore. All sorts of news fly. But what if? Just hypothetically, I mean.
Called it. Seriously, 10 years ago, on the day it all went down, I said to myself, you know what? This guy's been set up. The Caesar...
Oh, please. Weren't you the one cursing his name to high heaven when the police announced the news? You were all, that gosh darn lousy son of a... you...
Wait, did I say that? I don't seem to recall.
Hello there. Sorry for disturbing you, but we're actually quite interested in this topic as well, but we're struggling to get to the bottom of it.
You've come to the right people. Yep, I was there. Back when Caesar used to perform magic tricks on the street. He was a great magician. The best trick I ever saw him do was pop a transparent balloon, only for a whole bunch of doves to fly out from the inside. I was right up close and didn't blink or look away once. But for the life of me, I still don't have the faintest clue how he pulled it off.
I saw him perform too. He always used to bring some gifts along for the kids who came to watch his show. And sometimes, he even got the kids to write their... But after he died, there were also rumors that he used the wish list to find out what was precious to people, with the intent to steal it later. As I'm sure you know, the Phantom Weasel would steal just about anything from any...
Whatever the case, now that the Weasel is back, I bet Gemma must be No, speak of the devil. That's her over there. If you've got any more questions about Caesar, she's definitely the one to ask.
So that's Gemma. Wait. It looks like she's injured.
ஒரு கொஸ்டின் போனா எத்தனை கொஸ்டின் திங்க் பண்ண விடுறாங்களே.
Hi there.
Who's asking?
Don't be afraid, we mean no harm. It looks like you're injured. How bad is it?
Thanks for your concern, but you didn't answer my question. Who are you, and what do you want with me?
My name is Linny, and this is my sister Lynette.
My name's Paimon, and Taylor. We're investigating the Phantom Weasel.
The Weasel posted a warning letter this morning. If you knew Caesar better than anyone else. So if you're willing, we'd love to hear what you think about all this. I promise you can trust us. We won't hurt you. In fact, we'll do all we can to keep you safe.
I never believed that he was the Weasel.
Huh. I suspected as much. Okay, so going back 10 years, do you remember anything strange in the weeks leading up to the accident?
No.
Got it. All right.
If you don't have any more questions, please leave. I want to be alone with him.
Judging by the look on her face, there's definitely something fishy about...
She's lying. She definitely knows something.
That's fair. We're just a bunch of strangers who showed up and started questioning her about things that happened a whole decade ago. It makes sense that she'd be wary around us. In any case, I doubt we'll get any further here, so let's call it a day.
Not a lot of people here, huh?
Well, given the time of day and the whole situation in Poisson, Paimon doesn't think there'd be a ton of people here visiting graves.
Right. That's how things are now.
Navia? Navia, what's wrong?
Sorry. I just... Malus and Silver. They won't ever come back here again. What should I do, Papa?
Huh? What happened to them?
Everyone agreed on the rescue plan, but still, I was the one who initiated it. They were helping evacuate the residents, but they couldn't leave in time, and they were caught in the seawater.
What should we do?
I've known them for so long. And I know they weren't afraid. I could at least hold a funeral for my father. And I know where he rests. But as for Malus and Silver, they're just... gone.
Everything looks so clean after it rains. Even the gravestones. I didn't expect that you'd enjoy a glass of red wine in front of Master Callus's grave.
I can understand.
See, it's not just...
How could... Yet the...
Buying yourself a
No need yet. But when I do, I hope you'll let me be buried beside Master Callus.
Hey!
I'm quite serious.
That makes sense.
After all, besides you, Demoiselle, the two of us...
Personally?
Why are you bringing this up all of a sudden? Seriously.
But I'd really prefer not to talk about this stuff. And what do you mean by saving me a trip?
I'd promised to let them rest in peace here. I'm sorry for letting you see me in a mess like this. I don't usually cry, really.
Paimon doesn't know how to help you feel better. But, well, she understands how you feel.
I had always thought I could make my wishes come true. But now that I think about it, that never solely relied on me. Malus and Silver, I'm so...
You can spend as much time as you need here, Navia. We'll
Thank you. Right now, you don't know how much that means. By the way, you can have a look at this. It's a list of victims from the incident that took...
Obena... Khan... So...
It's okay. I know what you're thinking. And the overall outcome indicates that the cost was worth it.
Right! Don't think that way, Navia. One person might be saved at the expense of another, sure, but that isn't something we should ever consider. Malus and Silver were not the price for saving anyone.
You're right. What you said just now was pretty amazing, actually. I'll remember your...
Oh!
Seems you've become more eloquent in the time since we last met.
The knave? What are you doing here?
Ah, is everything going well on your side?
Yes, my people are carrying out the mission according to your request. All the residents of Poisson have been evacuated, and we're preparing to relocate them to higher ground. As for these supplies, we have everything taken care of. There is no need to worry.
Thank you very much.
Wait, do you two know each other?
We just met recently. Right, Miss Navia?
Usually, I would call this a coincidental encounter, but that doesn't quite fit this time. Besides, it never even crossed my mind that a Fatui Harbinger would come looking for me. Thanks to the Knave, Spina di Rosula received generous support from the Fatui, which allowed us to complete the rescue and evacuation work so quickly.
Mutual aid is essential to fostering positive developments. We were already in the area, in any case, so it was nothing. That said, I must say that you're a lot sharper than you let on.
I apologize for all the ways in which I tested you previously. We've never worked with a Fatui before, and it's extremely important for us to know who we're working with. My subordinates have reported that Fatui soldiers have been observing water levels and taking head counts in various locations.
This is nothing to brag about, nor do I intend to. It is simply the way of powerful organizations to act forcefully, whether they are doing good or ill. As I've told this traveler before, I know of the prophecy, and I intend to prevent the impending disaster. Lending your organization a hand was a natural first step in accomplishing that. As such...
Without your help, there would have been many more casualties. I won't forget your kindness.
Furthermore, I sincerely regret what happened to Malus and Silver. I only wish that my people could have arrived a little earlier to prevent this from happening.
Don't say that. You and your subordinates did everything you could. As Paimon said, Malus and Silver didn't choose to sacrifice themselves for any specific person. And they weren't the price paid for other salvation. They chose to become heroes themselves. I've never liked hearing people put it that way. It's like trying to relieve...
You're right. I'm sorry for your loss, Miss Navi. Water is life to Fontaine's people, and it also spells disaster. It's no wonder that people always say that prophecies represent fate. Fortunately, I've never been one for such a...
So, you're one who will try to change fate, then?
Of course. That is why I'm going to Hotel Bouffe de Thé. I still have some things to take care of, and the children need my attention. By the way, Traveler, Paimon, one more thing.
Alright, then we'll just... Huh? This is...
That is a clever and useful conversation technique, which I do like to use when necessary. But there's no need today. It would not hurt to have Miss Navia listening in. Traveler, I'm sure you remember that I said we could work together when we had the chance. You and I both know that there may be issues with the Primordial Sea. Previously, it was the Fortress of Meripede's sluice gate, and this time it was the water levels in Poisson. These are both signals. Indeed. Allow me to share the latest intel I've received from the House of the Hearth's intelligence network with you. During some recent investigations, A child claimed to have discovered some ruins near Poisson. The ruins date back to ancient times and seem to be worth investigating in many ways. Judging by the dating of the ruins, they may be related to the prophecy and the coming crisis. The situation is becoming more urgent, so any pertinent information will prove extremely precious. My people initially came to prepare for ruin exploration. Unexpectedly, this disaster struck.
So that's why the Fatui were already in Poisson.
I wanted to take the children along, but unfortunately, Linny, Lynette, and Fremine have all been dispatched to higher ground to assist affected. Linny told me that outside of the house, the person they trust most is you, which is why I want to give you this task. The House of the Hearth's members see each other as family, but Linny, Lynette, and Fremine said that they also see you as such, even though you are not from the house. I'm sure you already understand how earnest they consider their friendship with you to be.
Oh! That somehow makes Paimon feel kinda happy.
The intel I just shared about the ruins could fetch a high price. But since the children consider you family, it's only natural that I freely share it with you.
Got it! So all we gotta do is go to some ruins, right?
Excuse me, but may I tag along?
You wish to join, Miss Navia?
But are you sure you're up to exploring some ruins?
Well, I'm sad, yet there's no point in being depressed while we still have a disaster on our hands. As my father's successor, I must live up to the hopes he had in me. Besides, I'm also doing this for myself. I need something, a distraction, to keep my mind off Malus and Silver.
Since you put it that way, I have no objections. What do you say, traveler? All right. The ruins are to the south of Poisson.
Okay, the three of us will handle it.
Over here.
Lynette's not joining us today?
I've had her follow Gemma and see if we can make any inroads with her. They should be at a cafe right. Still, I don't think that Gemma's likely to open up to us. Today we'll be looking into a guy named Lorenzo. When Caesar passed away, all the stolen goods discovered in his home were confiscated. Before long, Lorenzo... I had to pull a lot of string.
You neglected to mention that you were bringing 2 other people.
My apologies. These 2 are my assistants. When they heard that I was meeting with the former magic maestro himself, they begged and pleaded with me to bring them along. And if it's no trouble, a couple of autographs would really make...
Oh, forget the pleasantries, just sit.
Get a load of this guy. Forget the pleasantries, he says, but he looks pretty happy about Linny stroking his...
I only agreed to meet since we're both magicians. Do me a favor and cut to the chase. I have more important things to do than drinking.
Much obliged, sir. As it happens, the matter I want to address is also... Yesterday morning, a warning letter from the Phantom Weasel appeared on the entrance to the Opera House. He claims to be planning something for the same evening that I'm scheduled to do a magic show there. As such, I believe that I may well be his target. I have to get to the bottom of this to ensure that my show can go ahead as planned. Naturally, any investigation into the Weasel starts with a few questions about Caesar, who...
What is there to investigate? Caesar was the Weasel and he's been dead for 10 years. So what if some sick creep thought it'd be funny to write a warning letter? It changes nothing.
Please, sir, no need to get so worked up. I do concede that a copycat is but one possibility.
Possibility? It's a fact, Linny. Look, my patience is limited, so listen carefully while I'm still willing to put up with you. The Weasel is dead. Period. Everyone knows that, so do yourself a favor and quit this investigation. It'll lead you nowhere. Look, if this affects your magic show in any way, I will personally compensate you for any losses.
Oh, sir, I'm honored, really. But this isn't about finances for me. My pride as a magician is what's at stake here, Lorenzo. Copycat or not, this person has thrown me the gauntlet, and I must meet their challenge head on.
Your pride? Don't mince words with me, boy. Just tell me, what exactly are you seeking to do?
I want to find out the Phantom Weasel's true identity. I have to know for myself what really happened 10 years ago.
What would that accomplish? And what do the events of 10 years ago have to do with you, anyway? Look, you of all people should know that a magician never reveals their secrets. And in any case, dead men don't talk. So if you really care about your magician's pride, then you'll...
Uh-oh. This is getting...
Lorenzo? Is that? Oh, it is you!
Another day.
Oh, come on! You can't be all business, all the...
If I wanted your life advice, I'd ask for it. Now get...
Sorry, my good sir. I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
Oh, hey! Edmondo. He and I are business. This is your first time meeting. And he wonders why he can't get a girlfriend, despite being, what, pushing 40, 30, something? Anyway, point is, a lot older than when he first got rejected by the girl he was into.
Shut up and get out of my face. Another word out of you and you can forget about doing business with me ever again.
Sorry, I may have had a little too much to drink. All right, I'm gonna leave.
I think it's high time I made a move as well. If you really want to investigate this, Linny, be my guest. But if nothing good comes of it, don't say I didn't warn you.
Well, that fell to pieces in a rather spectacular fashion. Any thoughts?
Totally. And what was all that about compensating you for your losses? He's gotta be hiding something. And not like Gemma. She was a little suspicious, but this guy's definitely covering something up.
I think so too. We need... That guy Edmondo seems to know a thing or two about him. He only just left.
Swarm Fury.
You okay there?
Who are... Oh, I say way too much back there, didn't I? Yeah, I nearly talked myself into complete financial ruin.
So, he was serious about threatening to cut you off?
Hey! Don't go prying into Lorenzo's personal affairs. Bad things happen to people who ask too many questions. Or make an enemy out of it.
What kind of...
Don't even ask. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to cut this conversation short. I'm not crossing that line again. And take it from me, trouble with Lorenzo is one thing you don't need in your life. You saw him flare up back there. I don't know what you said to him, but clearly it touched a nerve. That's not a good sign. You're too young for this. Don't get in over your head.
And there he goes.
Shh. I think we're being watched. Someone was listening in to our whole conversation. Don't say anything and don't look back. Any altercation in the city will attract the guards. We'd better take this elsewhere.
The wind rises.
You followed us a long way. Why don't you come out and introduce yourselves?
So you're Linny. And where's your sister? Hey, save us the trouble and go fetch her for us.
Paimon doesn't like the tone of your voice, mister! Who sent you, huh?
Save your question.
Looks like now I'm not the strongest fighter, so I hope you're ready to back me up.
Don't worry,
Let's play! Time for takeoff.
Now disappear!
Curses. They're tougher than we thought.
Vision wielders are always trouble. Intimidation ain't gonna work like it did on the lady.
Come on, let's scram!
Hey, wise guys! We ain't through with you yet! Oh, they got away! Did you catch what they said? Sounds like they just wanted to rough us up as a scare tactic. And they've already done it to someone else. You're right. Maybe she was too scared to tell us the truth because those guys had threatened her.
Well, if that's the case, she should be more willing to open up to us once she learns that those thugs won't be bothering her. Let's head back to the cafe and see if we can get any information from her.
Behold!
Gemma?
You again. What is it this time?
We just ran into the men who've been threatening you, and we gave them a taste of their own medicine. So, you can relax now. We're here to protect you.
What? Why? I didn't tell you anything. Why would they come after you?
Sounds like they're no strangers to you.
That's putting it mildly. I know them all too well, and I hate them with every fiber of my being. It's been 10 long years, and still every time I try to look into Caesar's death, they show up and warn me not to do anything stupid. How do I know I can trust you? Do you really think you can get to the bottom of it all? And
I'm afraid I can't reveal all the details just yet, but I can promise you this. I will expose the Phantom Weasel's true identity, because you see, this is a personal matter of the utmost importance. I give you my word.
Okay.
I've heard that Caesar used to have a magic workshop where he kept a lot of his personal effects. If possible, I'd like to take a look at them. Do you know where it is?
The Fleuve Cendre. I also know that the Fleuve Cendre is dangerous territory. Lots of hostile groups lurking around. If you're
Understood. Lynette, you stay here and take care of Gemma. Don't...
Got it. But if I'm staying here, I'm ordering dessert.
I mean, bon appetit. But stay sharp, too. They're...
Okay. All right. Power saving mode off.
Squall Fury!
Hold the line!
The wind rises.
If Gemma gave us the right location, then the workshop should be right nearby. Huh. Looks like these boxes are blocking the... There we go.
What shall we do?
Crumble! Behold! Upon the gate.
So this was Caesar's workshop. Nothing suspicious here, just normal magic props. Let's head in further. What was that? Oh, is this one of Caesar's gadgets? Guess we must have triggered some sort of device. Yeah.
Solidify!
Allow me.
Squall Fury! And voila!
Stabilize!
Step right up.
Brace yourselves.
Solidify!
The wind rises.
Whoa. Look. The doll in the box is glowing. There's something written on the card on this doll. Let's take a closer look. These magic boxes are moving. What do we do?
One of them looks different from the rest. Let's investigate.
Got it. We're supposed to find the box that lit up at the start, right? There should be another wish list inside. Let's keep trying. That's weird. Have we reached the end already? There's nothing here. Maybe this was a wasted trip.
This place seems a little too ordinary for a magician's workshop. There's a distinct lack of mystery. We've triggered quite a few devices on the way here. I'm starting to wonder whether Caesar built... If so, then there must be more to this place than meets the eye. Maybe a hidden... Aha! If I just move this book, then...
A secret passage!
I'm a magician too, and apparently great minds really do think alike. Looks pretty big inside.
Gather! I will have order!
can get away. Let's play! Rest and rebuild!
Solidify! Try louder!
Why have you stopped, Lenny?
Huh. It just looks familiar somehow. Let me check this out for a second while you guys go on ahead. If anyone makes a major discovery, let's rendezvous.
All right, see you in a... Seems like we can't step on the same tile twice. Guess we've got to finish it in one run, huh?
Squall Fury!
Wow! This book's thick as a brick!
At one of my shows a few days ago, a child asked me how I pulled candy out of my hat. As a joke, I told the kid that the hat has a built-in wish-granting machine. Next thing I know, today a whole bunch of kids were pestering me to pull all sorts of things out of the hat. So I told them another white lie. The machine needs time to power up, but in the meantime, you can write your wishes down. Well, they took me up on that offer, enthusiastically. As I write this, I've only just got back from running around all over town. I wound up saving very little this month, but that's not a major issue. I now have a bigger problem. How am I going to hide all these things? 2 children came to talk to me after today's show. I don't know why they were out on their own. They looked much too young to be unsupervised. Anyway, they said that they wanted me to teach them how to do magic. It's not uncommon for children to ask this, of course, but I've never seen any of them as serious about it as these. I told them that learning magic is very hard work, but that didn't faze them at all. It's like they already knew. They seemed so It seems like something's bothering Lorenzo lately, but he won't open up to me about it. Surely he's not upset that I agreed to teach those two children. I have a good feeling about those kids. They're naturally talented, and it seems like they're not new to the world of magic. They have all sorts of fantastic ideas. All I'm really doing is helping them develop a more professional standard training plan. They wanted to call me Master, but I told them they absolutely mustn't. Any magician worth their salt could have taught them what I have. They're the geniuses here. Compared to them, I don't deserve to be called any. With time, I have no doubt that they could become far greater magicians than I. My only concern is why they're so mature for their age. I fear they've had to grow up too fast. I don't dare to imagine what they must. Gemma thinks so too. She doesn't like being around them. Says that their eyes are too piercing. They don't bother me, but then again, I've never been the sharpest tool in the shed. It's nearly time for me to go on tour. I asked the two kids if they'd like to come with me. I once overheard them talking about their father and their mission. Sounds like their parents have other plans for them. It's only been 10 days since I first met them, but I think that I've gotten a feel for their personality. They're very tough, but also very cautious, and they trust no one but each other. This, I fear, is not a good habit to have. They hide things from me too. For example, when I asked them where they live and why they wanted to learn magic, that's the thing about children. Whenever they're trying to cover something up, it always shows somehow. I can sense that their lives have been hard, possibly even dangerous too. After thinking things over, I decided to tell them a bit about how I see the world. P.S. I hope they won't find my nagging annoying. Children are so opinionated nowadays. Will it do them more harm than good for someone they've only known 10 days to lecture? P.P.S. Maybe— Oh, Caesar,
Two magic geniuses with a father and a mission, huh? Sounds a lot like he was writing about Linny and Lynette, don't you think? So did they meet Caesar when they were kids?
The wind rises.
Yeah. Linny?
Shh, hold that thought. As I expected, there's a lot of fishy things going on in this place.
Fishy?
All in good time. Before we go over our new leads, I want to tell you how a high-altitude escape is. First, the magician slots themselves into a match at this point. Meanwhile, the real magician, who has by now blended in— Oh no!
Very vivid.
The audience's gaze then— Of course, that's just how I think the inventor of this trick never performed it successfully. When the box opened, Caesar was the one who fell out, and not the dummy. He fell right to the ground from the highest point of the opera house. No one else has ever attempted this trick since. My understanding of how it works is just based on what I could gather from his notes and the relevant gadgets here in his work.
So Caesar's famous high-altitude escape has never been done, huh? I was about to say how cool it would have been to see it in person, but if it's that dangerous, it's probably for the best that— Wait a second. So if a dummy's supposed to drop out of the box, then where does the real magician go?
Glad you asked. That brings us to the secret. This box right here is the one that Caesar constructed himself to use in the performance, and it's not as simple as it looks. Inside, there's a device that only the magician himself would know about. Once the magician's inside and the box is lifted up into the air, the audience's view of the box is fixed at a certain angle. From where they're standing, they have a clear view of the front, sides, and bottom, but the back and the top are now no longer visible. At this point, the magician presses a button inside the box, opening a secret. He then escapes through this trapdoor onto the opera house roof, waits for the dummy to fall and distract the audience, and quietly returns to ground level.
That's way simpler than Paimon imagined. Even Paimon could probably do it.
Well, there's a little more to it than that, of course. The hardest part of this trick is controlling the audience's mood and reactions. That takes an exceptional... There's the falling dummy, the miraculous reappearance, the pomp... Many days and nights of careful research. Caesar was a highly accomplished magician.
So, how did it go so wrong? You said you found some fishy stuff here. Have you...
I can make a pretty good guess. I looked into the case files. The magic box Caesar was using at the time of his death had the secret button I mentioned positioned on the right-hand side. And, sure enough, he always used his right hand as his dominant hand in public.
Okay. Nothing's...
But here's the strange thing. Most of the devices in this workshop have the mechanism on the left-hand side, including this box right here. Which leads me to believe that Caesar was in fact left-handed, because a magician can't afford to have their most basic habits stand out too much. People naturally focus their attention on the most important details of the task or situation, but a magician needs to be able to redirect an audience's attention at will, so as to avoid arousing their suspicion. The essence of magic is getting people to believe a lie. If even the truth raises eyebrows, the falsehoods become all the more... And so, Caesar trained himself to use his right hand to align with his audience's expectations. Great magic always requires sacrifice, but in his most stressful and nerve-wracking moments, exactly, I think that's likely what happened. Caesar would have been under a lot of time pressure during the escape. He'd have had mere seconds to open the hidden compartment, retrieve the dummy, then open the secret door and make a swift escape. But I'm sure he was confident. He would have rehearsed countless times to the point where it was second nature. He'd barely need to think about what he was doing because muscle memory would guide him through. So he opened the compartment, took out the dummy, checked everything was in order, and then went to... Much like when you reach for your keys but find your pocket empty, his instinctively, with the stakes being as high as they were.
But in reality, but how would...
It would have to have been... Isn't that right?
You just couldn't let sleeping dogs lie, could you? There's not a lot of people who'd go to all this trouble for some magician who died 10 years ago. I didn't want to have to do this, you know. Silencing you the hard way just creates more problems for me, but I gave you your chance. I hoped you'd do what's good for you and back off like the lady, but...
You mean Gemma? So you are the one who's been threatening her!
Yes, although however stubborn, which is why you can't leave this place alive.
That's far enough!
Hold the line! Here we go!
And voila! Let's get this show on the road!
Stabilize!
Allow me.
This is order. Gather!
Rest and rebuild! Yahoo!
Stay calm, stay calm. Yeah.
You kids are tougher than you look.
Had enough yet, Lorenzo? Your cronies can't help you now. I think it's high time you started talking. And what I'd really like to know is, why did you murder Caesar?
If I had a mora for every time you said that man's name. Of course you idolized Caesar, everyone else did. But I was the real genius magician. Me! He was just an amateur who did cheap tricks for gullible children. I was the one who made magic into the fine art it is today. The aristocrats doffed their hats to me!
So it was jealousy.
Jealousy. Hatred, more like. I hated Caesar. All he cared about was his magic. He lived and breathed it. He poured everything into his street performances and his stupid tours like it was just a hobby to him, never bothering to think about Mora. What sort of fool devotes their life to the art of deception and never has a Mora to show for it? But the people loved him, didn't they? Oh, how they looked up to him. No, amazing. Yeah, so amazing that he was completely broke. Every other apprentice was living it up at their master's expense, but no, not me. I put in all the work, mastered all the skills, and it brought me nothing more than the life I already had. He forbade me from using magic to trick people out of their Mora. There was nothing he hated more than that. And with his reputation in Fontaine, it was too risky for me to go it alone. As long as he was alive, if I dabbled in my own brand of money-making magic, he would expose me, and it would destroy me. I had to kill him. There was no other way.
And this was...
It was reason enough. What other motive would I need?
Well, I was under the impression that there might have been other factors at play. For instance, maybe you were in love with Gemma, but she was engaged to Caesar.
In love with Gemma? Don't be ridiculous.
Guess I was wrong about that then. Next question. Are you the Phantom Weasel?
I am. Caesar was so strict with me. He insisted that his way was the right way, that the sole purpose of magic was to bring joy to the world. I never bought into any of that. I was more interested in the practice.
Oh, yeah! Charlotte told us that the weasel would steal whatever people valued, no matter how much he was worth.
That's just how it looked from the outside. What would any thief want with second-rate loot? I've only ever targeted high-value items. I stole cheap things as a way of practicing my craft. It was other people's overactive imaginations that conjured up the preposterous image they then dubbed the
So, that's the story, huh? Well, I hope you're ready to tell it all over again during your trial.
What choice do I have? You're a pack of wolves, and you've got me between your jaws. You've seen what's here, and my last-ditch effort to stop it getting out has failed. So be it. I've enjoyed power and wealth for the last 10 years, the likes of which Caesar could never give me. I wouldn't choose for things to end.
Very well. In that case, Traveler, Paimon, keep an eye on Lorenzo for me. I'll meet...
Solidify!
Lily has told me the whole story. Lorenzo, do you confess to the murder of Caesar and to framing him for the Phantom Weasel's crimes?
Look who's finally developed a conscience. What kind of disciple murders their own master? I hope it was worth it. Because they'll be...
Looks like it's all over. What should we do next, Lenny? Should we start...
Let's rendezvous with Lynette and Gemma first. With Lorenzo in custody, Gemma will no longer have to...
Good point! We should go tell Gemma the good news right away! It'll give her some peace of mind.
Squall and Fury!
Ah, You're back. You were so quick. I've only just finished my 3rd dessert.
Your 3rd? Leat'eq, come on, we've talked about this. Everything in moderation. You're not gonna have any room left for dinner now.
That's fine. I'll shift to exercise mode and jog off the excess sugar.
That's besides the point. Well, it's done now.
Point taken.
Did everything go okay?
Of course! Lorenzo was no match for us. The guards are taking him into custody as we speak.
Gosh, that's amazing. I'm sorry, I still didn't know if I could trust you, but now it seems I can. I had my suspicions about Lorenzo, but
It's okay, we understand. He did threaten you. Paimon would find it hard to trust strangers in your position too. But you don't need to be scared anymore. Everything's gonna be okay.
Sorry. My emotions are all over the place right now. I've been waiting for this day to come for so long. I always wanted to report Lorenzo. He took all of Caesar's property, which I found suspicious. But I had people watching me all the time, so I couldn't risk looking into it. I was so afraid. I was scared he'd do something terrible to me, and then no one would be left to visit Caesar's grave. Thank you all.
Thank you all for clearing Caesar's name. I never would have guessed that Lorenzo was the real Phantom Weasel. He never showed any signs that there were problems between him and Caesar in public. From the outside, it looked like they got along great. And to think that lowlife's been living life to the fullest all this time, while Caesar's name was getting dragged through the mud. At least his soul can finally rest in peace now, thanks to your efforts.
If only I'd realized before it was too late.
Don't blame yourself, Gemma. This isn't your fault.
Yeah, you still have the rest of your life to live. Caesar wouldn't want to see you spending it feeling...
Cheer up, Gemma. My brother's doing this show will be
in Caesar's honor.
Great. We'll see you tomorrow evening. Travel.
Don't worry, we'll be there. No way are we gonna... Wait. Paimon feels like we're forgetting something. Oh yeah, Caesar's diary! We never found out if the 2 kids Caesar taught magic to were Linny and Lynette or not. Linny changed the topic back in the workshop, so we didn't get a chance to bring it up. Oh well. Guess we'll just have to ask Linny tomorrow evening.
Search for it. Quit following me.
So, are these the ruins the knave was talking about?
They seem to be pretty ancient, all right.
Let's go and...
Just be careful. Send one, send them all.
What do you want from me? Search for it.
Time for takeoff. Let's play. Hold the line. Cross over.
Unsight me in 6.
Think you can get away? Yahoo! Rest and rebuild. Billowing surge! The floor here isn't safe!
Behold! Surge forth! The wind rises.
This place has also been contaminated by primordial seawater.
Yeah. And a lot of it, too. A Fontanian would most likely dissolve the moment they fell in.
Right! You can't go down if there's primordial seawater. It's too dangerous, and it won't be any help for you to just stay here. Don't get Paimon wrong. We're not saying you're useless. It's just that...
No, you're right. I can't do anything in this situation. I'll leave this to you. That complicates things. Maybe the only way left is forward.
In that case, do you want to wait for us here?
The water levels here are unstable, and there's a chance the water will rise. So, staying here wouldn't be safe either. I'll go together with you. Perhaps we'll find the exit just up ahead.
All right. Come with us for now.
Behold!
Oh no, it's a dead end! Let's try climbing over from the side.
Squall and Fury! Too slow. Quit following me. Behold!
Wait, there's something wrong with this bridge!
Navia!
Demoiselle?
Huh?
Demoiselle, what are you doing here by yourself? Would you be standing here till dark?
Maybe she just want...
Oh.
Yes, it would have...
That's quite possible.
Oh. This is a...
Is something the matter, Dem?
Oh, no, I was just trying to...
Do you remember, Mr...
We were headed to see...
Ah, right.
Oh? Miss Navia. Mr. Malus. And Mr. Silver, too.
How...
I've been great. They were knocking at my door.
Sometimes.
Oh, yes. Miss Navia, these are some flower seeds that I prepared. Please take them. I don't know what...
Why, we can have as many pots as you'd like, Demoiselle.
Perfect. In that case, we'll swap out some of the decorative plants.
Very well.
Wait. Excuse me, madam. If that's right. No, it's nothing. I've heard that. And why are there so few people around here?
We must mind the time.
Huh? We do?
Well, now...
Miss Navia, here you are! My trial?
Yes, she's right, Demoiselle. It's just about time now, so...
Oh?
Look, it's Navia!
And her two attendants are with her. Goodness, everyone's finally here.
There sure are a lot of people here to see the trial. And they all seem to be oddly... Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien, Essen. Why are so many... And as for the judge... huh? What...
Please sit in the defendant's seat. Don't worry, Silver and I...
All right, but...
Typically, it wouldn't...
Hey, what kind of place do they think this is?
Come on, do they have any idea what they're doing?
Enough with the whispering!
Could someone...
My dear Miss Navia, have you not yet realized what you've done? And that, as all here know, you are Master Callus's successor. After you took over, not only you, but your...
Wait a moment. Aren't you just proving that I'm a good person?
Yes, correct. Absolutely. We are one big therefore, this...
Huh?
Oh, well...
How...
I know all these people. Why are they laughing?
I seem to remember now. Yes.
Wait just a moment. This isn't right!
Malus?
What was that, Mr. Malus? Our conclusion is very clear and unanimous. Let the court judge her now. She's guilty!
Stay here, Navia! You're one of...
Demoiselle, don't admit guilt. This trial means to keep you here forever.
I wish to exercise my right to defend Our Lady. Mistress Ronville...
She was born a free and independent spirit.
Her actions, please do not
Really? As an individual, you say? Don't forget, we are all Fontanians here. This is even if Miss Navia, everything is... Now, I speak for everyone. Our opinion is consistent. Navia should stay.
And you would call this justice? Have you forgotten how much you all once longed to become individuals?
Do you mean to defy our
justice? If your justice is flawed, then why should...
As you said, we can also have our own justice. Silver, and that...
My head...
Demoiselle!
Silver, it hurts. My head... I remember now. Everything that seemed off. Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien, Essen, and Mr. Giverny and Mrs. Burnett, who we met earlier. Even Malus and Silver. I don't want to admit it, but they're all dead.
Don't be afraid, and don't admit guilt.
Absurd! Who are you to say that she cannot be judged? Don't let them escape!
Mr. Malus and Mr. Silver, must you be so stubborn? How could the two of you possibly hope to stand against the collective? Do not resist. This judgment is fair and just. Navia belongs to... After all that happened, she should not be left alone in Poisson.
What are you saying?
No more excuses!
He says we're jealous. Jealous? How could she possibly be an
What's with these people?
Who's jealous of her?
She belongs to us!
Miss Navia. Silence.
That's...
Monsieur Neuvillette!
Such commotion is prohibited in the court. The accusations you just presented are nonsense and cannot constitute a proper trial. The court will adjourn for the rest of the day. In this, I shall hear no objections from any unauthorized...
Our thanks, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Please leave with me, Miss Navia, while there is still time.
But...
Go on now, demoiselle. This is your only chance to leave this place.
Malus.
My apologies. I couldn't resist making one little joke once I realized that... This...
Malus. Silver.
Quickly! You must come now!
Goodbye, demoiselle.
Farewell.
No, wait! Just a second!
Navia?
You're awake. Good.
I must have been dreaming. Malus and Silver were still alive, and they were...
It looks like you're all right.
Did all the sad feelings cause you to have a nightmare? Paimon could give you a hug.
The ruins you were exploring suffered a cave-in. When I arrived, I found you falling toward the water. You were just about to be dissolved within, but I think I saw 2 Oceanids protecting you. It was only for a moment, perhaps even a fraction of a second, but they gave me the chance to retrieve you. Were it not for their intervention, I would not have been able to rescue you before your consciousness dissipated.
Wait, did you say Oceanids? You mean like what happened with Vache?
Perhaps those 2 Oceanids were the people you saw in your dream.
I always told them that they didn't have to protect me.
Please come with me.
Neverlet, are you okay?
Oh, I am quite all right. Perhaps there's something we could chat?
Why do you look so stiff out? Oh, Paimon knows. You're the type who feels awkward when there's nothing to talk about, right?
I merely thought that we should give Navia some time to herself.
Huh? Why didn't you just say so then? Don't you think it's even more awkward to call us over like this and then have nothing to talk about?
I suppose so. Ah, Sigewinne. I hope all is well with her these days. Her work in the Fortress of Meropide has not been too much for her, has it?
No way, don't worry. She's doing fine down there. She's an
I see. Well, that is good. I have always worried that Sigewinne would need a lot of time to understand the world of humanity, just as I have.
Oh, and the Duke also says hi. Even though Sigewinne made him do that. He hopes that you haven't been overwhelmed by all that...
Thank you. I have indeed been busy lately, and I also hope that everything is going well in the Fortress of Meropide.
He still doesn't know what to talk about. So, Neverlet, this isn't going anywhere.
Yes, in fact. I had arranged to meet you in Poisson, but when I arrived, I discovered that the Fatui were helping the residents evacuate. They had even transported a large quantity of supplies to the area. Amid my astonishment, I ran into the knave, and we had a chat. She informed me that she had asked you to investigate the ancient ruins here.
Yeah, we originally planned to meet up with you, but we thought you might still be busy with all those official documents. We didn't think exploring the ruins would take very long, and who would have thought you'd wrap things up so quickly?
I'm sorry to have kept you all waiting like that. I'm feeling much better now. I guess we should get going again. Will you come with us, Monsieur Neuvillette?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind my company.
All right! Another one joins the party! Let's get going
Upon the gale. Cry louder!
Go!
Behold! Quit following me.
Oh no, another unstable path. Watch your step.
wind rises.
Seems we're almost at the top. Keep it up!
Time for takeoff. Yahoo!
Higher, higher, hands on fire!
Brace yourself.
Unsightly insects.
Think you can get away? Here we go.
Hold the line!
Too slow. The wind rises.
Looks like we've reached the end.
This is the place. There should not be any other hidden spaces in the vicinity.
The path sure had some twists and turns, but it turns out that this place isn't actually that big.
Stone slates. It seems like they were put here as an offering. Could we take them down and have a look?
Perhaps we should just leave them be for now.
There are 4 locations in total, but only 3 stone slates. The slate that should be in the first empty spot is missing.
The surrounding walls also show signs of damage.
There's something written below. Let Paimon see. Reason dictates that this nation be destroyed. I shall record the history of its future here in its past.
It feels like someone left these slates and these words here for a purpose. But
That would fit the circumstances dictated by the prophecy, yes. Indeed, the slate's contents correspond to it. Take the second slate, for example.
There's a person kneeling here. She seems so dedicated. And there's a whole bunch of other people behind her doing the same. She's facing this...
And is that Lady Farina in the third image? Did the Hydro Archon fall into the water?
And is that a ring of people around her? Paimon doesn't quite get it. Are they all in the water?
The fourth image. I know this one. This exactly matches the content of the prophecy.
The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. More information should be hidden in these slates, but I fear I cannot easily uncover it, most likely due to us missing the first slate.
Don't blame yourself, Monsieur Neuvillette. Deciphering ancient stone slates isn't one of your duties.
Ooh, Paimon's chills just looking at these. This says that it's the history of the future, right? That means the prophecy's sure to come true.
I really hope it doesn't mean that.
Still, Paimon feels like these images are...
That's right! If the images are in chronological order, shouldn't the fourth, the waters drowning Fontaine, come before the third? Where the high...
And yet the order is reversed here.
If we go by timing, Lady Farina only emerges in the third image. That means that the person in the second image might be the previous Hydro Archon.
Egeria, then. I had never met her, but her appearance here does match the records. The previous Archon kneeling before the floating island in the skies, as if confessing a sin.
Did she herself commit that sin? And if not, why would she be in such a posture? Also, I'm still wondering why these ancient stone slates are here at all. Judging from their contents, could this place be the origin of the prophecy?
But who would have created these slates and left these words here?
It seems that any further clues will have to come from Farina.
In that case, there's no time to lose. There's nothing else to be gained here, so let's head back first.
Yeah, we better get somewhere safe for now.
Let's split up here. I'm going to check on what's happening with the Spina. You know how it is.
You still have energy for that, Navia?
Just head back to the Fluvsandra and have a rest then. Thanks for keeping me company all this time.
I'll depart as well. Thanks for your hard work today. Rest well, everyone. Traveler, I will go talk to Farina tomorrow morning to ask about the stone slates. I'm sure that you're concerned about this matter as well. If you have time, drop by my office. I will share the results of our discussion.
Are you really gonna
She has long been harboring secrets and will not give them up easily, which makes it all the more my duty to ensure that she understands the present situation.
All right, we'll leave it in your hands then. You're probably the best person to talk to her anyway.
I will be carefully considering my words tonight.
Traveler, Paimon, our safe house at the Fluvsandra is always open to you as ever, so please don't think you're an imposition. All right. I'll be on my way then.
We're finally back!
Welcome back. We've got...
Yay! And there's good food too! Ooh, Paimon's already starting to forget what happened today.
Oh, that voice. Is that who I think it is?
Huh?
It's you two. What are you doing in Fontaine?
Mona?
Seriously, nobody just uses a scryglass whenever they've got time to just see who they'll meet on the road.
Still, we didn't expect to see you here. Wait, you're not a Fontanian, are you, Mona?
Well, I have some business to attend to here, so I booked a hotel in the city. I was just out for a stroll when I bumped into you. Quite unexpectedly, if I might add. Why did you think I was from Fontaine, though? Is that because Magistus doesn't sound much like a Mondstatter surname?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Well, I used to have my own surname, which was, well, some other thing. Either way, the old hag told me when she took me as her disciple that the first step to being a great astrologist's pupil was to change that name. There was nothing for it, really. She really is amazing at astrology, so I changed my name to what it is now according to her wishes. To my surprise, however, Magistus is not the name of some ancient house.
Nope.
Although it is used by us in place of surnames, it generally just means great.
Wow! Imagine including a boast in your name.
I reckon so. In any case, I'd give my disciple a name like this as well, if I were to take one. Astromancer Barbeloth Trismegistus.
Whoa, that's a long one. Does it also—
My name means Mona the Great Astrologist. As for the old hag, hers is, in plain speech, the thrice-as-great Scholar of the Stars. Just take it as a title specific to astrologists.
Thrice as great? That's so—
I know, right? That's just how she is. She used to call herself Magistus, actually, but when she took me in, she changed her name to Trismegistus.
Talk about excessive.
Magistus is thus the calling card of our school, so to speak, which makes it about the same as a surname.
That sounds terrible! But anyway, you're not Fontanian, are you, Mona?
Well, I was born in Mondstadt, yes. My parents migrated to Dornman Port, and I traveled with the old hag for a while, after which I settled down and—
Oh, that's a good thing then. At least we know you won't be dissolved by Fontaine's
Speaking of that, I'm sure you're aware that a bunch of things have happened here in Fontaine, right? I know you're not a local, but I'd avoid getting too close to any water that looks strange all the same. There's something ominous about it. Well, the water, I mean. That was the main reason, yes. Just a while back, the Steambird invited me to take part in a panel and speak about the circulation of the prophecy. The invitation was sent quite early on. I don't—
What do you make of that prophecy, Mona? Just tell—
What I can tell you is that I'm an astrologist. And that this prophecy can— I'm afraid that this is not something that just anyone can do. But on the flip side, the prophecy is—
A visionary? Sounds really powerful and all, but does such a person really exist?
Of course. The old hag could do it, and I'd bet there are others amongst those Hexenzirkel colleagues of hers who could do something similar.
Huh? Thanks, Mona. You're amazing as always.
Oh, well, this is something only I can do after all. So yes, your praises are quite welcome.
That's the greatest of astrologists for you! Of all the people we know, you know the star's the best!
Indeed, indeed. That's—
Oh, sorry. I came to see what all the commotion was about. If there's anything you need, do not hesitate.
Oh, whoops. Guess we were getting a little too carried away there. Well, I'll go tend to my own business now. If I—
And there she goes, quick as rushing water. And here we are with the Spina guy giving us suspicious looks. If Paimon hadn't spoken for you, it'd be you getting all the weird— that's smart. Good morning. To be honest, Paimon's still feeling— But it's time to get up, traveler.
You're here! Monsieur Neurvalette and Lady Farina, they seem to have gotten into a dispute. Please go see for yourself.
Like I said, I've already explained everything!
And yet the problem has not been properly solved. There is little space for excuses between us. It is not my intention to offend you, but please, tell me where you stand. You are the Hydro Archon Focalor, are you not? Look at this. This is a list of the victims from the recent Poisson incident.
You mean... they're all...
We did not arrive in time to avert this disaster, and I will not have it happen again. I will say this once more. You must tell me everything you know. Yesterday, I found 3 stone slates in some ancient ruins near Poisson. Do you know anything about those?
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now. I don't know anything about that. But you found them in some ancient ruins, you say?
That's correct, which is why I came to ask you some questions. There should have been 4 slates, but one of them was missing. The other 3 feature different images that seem to correlate to the prophecy.
The prophecy?
The second of these slates depicts the previous Hydro Archon Egeria kneeling before a floating island in the sky, as if confessing something. Do you know nothing of this either?
I don't. I've never seen such slates.
I'll ask you again. Do you really have no information regarding the previous Archon? My deciphering of the slates indicates that the Hydro Archon Egeria once had to confess to, or apologize for, a certain sin. If anyone would know about it, it should be you.
All gods don't have the same secrets, you know. She was herself and I'm me. Is it really so strange that I know nothing? I understand your concerns, but I'm sorry. I just don't have anything to tell you.
Forgive me for saying this now, Lady Farina, but I have long known of your various secret investigations into certain matters. There are several indications that you have been investigating the prophecy on the sly. This is not strange in itself, considering that you are the Hydro Archon. But it is strange that you should also claim to not know any of Egeria's secrets, as well as do nothing following your inquiries. You have never been as superficial as you have presented yourself to be, nor are you a fool. And yet, your behavior is very inconsistent.
So you've been watching me all this time, have you? I didn't think you were that type.
You...
Well, since you know about my secret investigations, then you should know I'm actually working to take care of it. There's no point questioning or suspecting me. You're the Leat'eq, but you're still my subordinate. You should be following my lead. Just trust in me, your Archon, and do as I say. Never mind whether you can truly convince yourself to or not. It'll all turn out fine. That's all I have to say. We do not discuss this matter again. Oh, the opera's about to start. Toodles!
Did Farina not notice us standing by the door? Wonder what's up with her.
I assume you've been outside for a while now?
Oh! You noticed! Seems Farina didn't even realize we were here.
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Our discussion reached impasses time and again, a state of affairs that we cannot allow to continue. Still, I do not understand. Dialogue is the basis for understanding, so why did she keep refusing to engage? Everyone in her inner circle has noticed that she is hiding some secret. The issue is her attitude. I fear that she will not reveal anything unless absolutely forced to. We may have to create a situation in which she will have no choice but to speak.
Oh?
Normally, people will only reveal the truth when standing trial. Perhaps we must have the Hydro Archon experience just such a scenario.
But Farina's seen so many trials, and she's really good at dodging questions. How do we make sure that she won't just slip away at the first chance she gets?
We will need to consider this thoroughly, join forces with various parties, and then do what we can. If at all possible, I would prefer to recuse myself from this affair, but we must prevent the prophecy from coming to pass. This may be cruel to her, but all Fontaine is in crisis. The information a god possesses is too precious, and so we must take a chance on this. But who will lend us their aid to do such a thing?
Well, that's everyone, huh? Speaking of which, it was pretty smart of you to think of hiding here.
Poisson was just involved in a disaster.
And here you are drinking tea like it's the most natural thing in the world.
That's what family should.
It's nice to enjoy tea here, you know? Care for...
Lend me your ears, everyone. Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you, friend?
Me? No.
Then, how about you, good sir?
I fear that I will cause the mood on this boat to become as somber as it is in court.
Well then, I guess we're lucky we've got a local like me to organize things. Wonderful, the spotlight at last. I guess I'll be facilitating things from here.
That was a little long-winded, don't you think?
Oh, you might be right. Anyway, to cut to the chase, our friend here, the Traveler, has brought us together to discuss something. As for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll be pooling our efforts together to create a series of traps.
Oh?
Well, it's...
Huh? Didn't you say that you would be facilitating this?
Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good chance to practice. You might even pick up some fancy oratory tricks to impress your boss with in the future.
I see. And what does my boss say?
He is glad that you consider him your boss. Do go on.
In that case, do any of you have experience hunting?
Not that I recall.
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we were younger. As for Lynette,
I've also gone diving to catch some fish before.
I'm afraid not. You may or may not have heard, but Fontaine once played host to a group known as the Marechaussee Hunter. Though that was their name, they did not hunt animals, but rather various monsters left behind by the ancient dynasty of King Remus. Today, Fontaine's monster population has already thinned greatly, so the hunters have blended back into society, taking up arms in other lines of work. A trap comprises of the following components: bait, a trigger, and a containment device. So, if we were to build a trap together, right now, what would you choose to build it with?
for me, I would prefer something basket-shaped. Pigeons and rabbits will see the bait, and naturally, our line of work requires a deft hand, and we're some of the best in the industry, so you can count on...
You used some of those techniques while moving the people of Poisson, didn't you? My subordinates mentioned that you even performed some magic for the bawling children.
Yes, and I even managed to gather some intelligence in the meantime.
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my strong suit. I prefer more stable methods, like placing bait in the water and waiting for the fish to come within reach.
Calm and steady. Exactly the kind of person who would catch loads of...
And I can be
with discretion.
I'd probably use some sort of mechanical animal. Papa once bought me some small clockwork squirrels, mice, and such. When placed in the forest, they can attract others of their kind. I remember that you liked those too, didn't you?
I did. And that would be a good way to go about it. If they're realistic enough, animals of the same kind will follow them all the way to the trap.
What about you, Monsieur Neuvillette?
I fear I do not have any related experience.
That makes sense. You usually solve problems directly, without the use of any such tricks. But I do have one more question for you, Monsieur. If we were to create a trap now, how would you design it?
I would like for it to be effective, but bring no harm to the prey. A more gentle trap would...
Kind, as always. However, our intention doesn't necessarily change the containment device and the type of implement we need. If we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However, that also goes for prey that must be captured and safely contained.
Wait, why is that?
Only a hunter who's a true expert at subduing their prey can snare it without harming it.
So are we going hunting together?
Huh. We hadn't thought of seeing ourselves as hunters.
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them on trial, And the hunting metaphor is actually quite accurate. But we shall require much more courage than any hunter to judge a god. A being whose seat is an exalted throne.
Oh, so that's what's going on. Sounds very interesting.
நான் இதோட அப்படியே ஸ்ட்ரீம் எண்ட் பண்ணிட்டு நம்ம நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்ட்ரீம்ல அப்படியே கண்டினியூ